at people's hearts, Sheriff. You look at people's heart. Yeah.
30 seconds.
Bill, just your father coming up?
Okay. 10. 5.
Hey everybody, Chris Swanson here, Sheriff of Genesee County. Welcome back to another weekly briefing. I have with me somebody that, if you've been around the county for the last 24 years, you'll know that he was elected sheriff in 2000. He was appointed in 1999. My predecessor, Sheriff Robert Packel.
Thank you, Sheriff. It's a pleasure to be with you and all of the...
Yes, the room is packed.
Packed.
This is my co-host for today, our weekly briefing, and we got a lot to cover. And in the end, you're going to hear from both the sheriff and I about a really, really highly volatile case that is disturbing to watch. And it's an elder abuse case, and as we know that the sheriff was very vital in getting the senior millage passed nearly 2 decades ago, and then that led into, of course, Meals on Wheels and the elder abuse exploitation team. So we're still working cases, but we have a lot on the agenda, some ups, some downs, some celebrations. So I'm just so thankful that you're here. People ask me all the time, what's the sheriff been up to? I'm like, well, you get to ask him now.
It's my pleasure to be with you, and I'm looking forward to an opportunity to talk to some of our friends.
I love it. I love it. The first story that we have, Sheriff, is for our people is what's happening with Ghost. You'll see there's a whole packet of certificates that I signed, and these are the certificates that people receive when they take our Ghost certification program. And that is found on our website. Now, what that means is people can actually go to gcsomichigan.com, and right on the front page, there's a button you can click for Ghost certification. You watch 3 videos, an intro video, 2 town halls, and then once you take that test, it's immediately transferred to our database. We do a grading, and then at that point, once you pass, which we have a high success rate, you get this certificate, and you get your Ghost certified sticker. Now that sticker right there can be put anywhere in your business, in your church, in your house. And what it does is it lets people know that you are aware of the signs and you're aware of what grooming is. You're aware that you could be used as an agent to set people free. That people see the sticker and maybe they're not comfortable coming to an officer or somebody else, but they know that you are part of this whole process. You know, human trafficking is education, awareness, enforcement, and aftercare. So that's exciting. And I got to tell you that Ghost started in 2018. It was, you were the sheriff at the time, and where we've come from to where we are now is just unbelievable.
Well, it started when I was the sheriff, but it started because you created the program. You came to me and you said, I've got an idea. And the idea turned out to be a great idea, but it was all you.
Well, that's what an undersheriff is supposed to do, you know, come up with things. And I've got a good one, but I'm just so glad. I noticed the sheriff's wearing his Ghost sticker, and let me share with you how big it's gotten. Now, we're going on our 5th year, and we've been all over the country. We've done 35 counties in the state of Michigan with Ghost certified program, but it caught the attention of NASCAR. So check this out. So there's the number 42 driver of the truck series, and he drives that truck right there. And Carson Hosefar is actually from Portage, Michigan, and Carson's mother went to Davison High School. She's a Cardinal. And he's been racing since he was 6 years old. Well, he's got a connection to our dear friend Dave Forstick that you worked with Dave's dad, a retired Flint officer, and Dave started Premier Security. And so there was a conversation, and NASCAR worked with Carson to say, hey, we want to get one of these stickers for that truck that's running on the NASCAR circuit. So months ago, we sent a logo. And lo and behold, last Thursday, I got a text from NASCAR representatives. And Sheriff, check this out. This truck is the number 42 truck that's running Daytona this weekend. And that's a 5-foot by 4-foot Ghost logo on the bed of that number 42 truck. Running the Daytona. And that has to get approved by NASCAR, and I'm so thankful for Carson. We're pulling for you to win, number 42 win. I would ask that everybody in Genesee County that follows Ghost, anybody who's out there that's part of the certification program, that you follow Carson, the number 42 car. We thank NASCAR because what they're doing is they're bringing recognition to human trafficking, and to see that 5-foot logo of our Ghost logo running Daytona, that's a big deal that we're doing it right.
It makes everybody a winner.
Yes.
Just by the fact that it's recognized by NASCAR.
Isn't that great?
Irrespective of who wins the race.
Right.
We're all winners.
I love it. See, that's why we work so well together. I did 21 years with the sheriff, and man, it's just great. I'm having flashbacks working together. It's just that the roles are reversed, and even going on my 3rd year as sheriff, it's still unique. I still consider myself your undersheriff giving advice, but we're on the same plane. There's number 39, number 40. I love it. So that's really excited. Again, it runs this Friday. The race is 7:30. It's the truck series. Number 42 truck. Carson, we're with you, and we're so thankful to NASCAR. The other thing we just launched today, you'll love this. The sheriff got his degree from Adrian College, and that's where you met your cheerleader.
Right.
And he's also an English, I call him a major, but it was a minor in English?
Major.
Major, all right. And you actually started teaching before you got into law enforcement.
I did.
What year was that you started teaching?
1964.
Wow. So he said,
you born yet?
I was not, but I was maybe thought of. Even my older brother wasn't even born then. No offense. But he started teaching, then he did 54 years in law enforcement. What's your total amount?
I have 57 years in law, 58.
58 years.
But there was 3 years, or 2 years that I was teaching.
And 57 years, you're talking Flint Police, the prosecutor's office, obviously for the federal government, and you came back to be the sheriff. I mean, that covers everything.
Right.
Well, I know that it's important that English and reading is vital. And when we launched the Ignite program in 2020, what we quickly saw, and this represents jails across America, is that the people that end up in jail are the ones that many times can't read, they can't do math. And how do you fix that? So we're taking advantage of all the different opportunities, and this is one of them. So March 1st launches, and if you look at this, nationwide Reading Month. March is Reading Month for the United States. So we're going to really make it incentivized for our local elementary schools, both public and private, all schools in Genesee County, including our Flint schools. So check this out. The students log how many readings they do, whether it's minutes or books, the principals are deciding, and then they track that. Lieutenant Macy is the one who's keeping tracks on that. And at the end of the month, whatever school reads the most books, that reads the most words, that reads the longest, they get the award of the Pizza Party Extravaganza, which means you have pizza for the whole school, including the staff. We're bringing it. It's served by the sheriff's office and yours truly. Then we're bringing in an ice cream cart, and we're giving everybody their ice cream. Then, if that's not enough, we're giving the principal $1,000 cash to spend only on her staff, his staff. Whatever principal that is a principal of the school that wins, we're giving them $1,000 to say, hey, thank you for all that you do, and we're going to celebrate reading. We're going to start incentivizing reading before they get down to where people are struggling as an adults. And there's people watching right now. Literacy opens up doors. Illiteracy closes them.
Well, I tell you, this is something that no one would expect the sheriff to do. And I think that's that forward-looking, progressive attitude that's brought to not only to the office of sheriff, but throughout the county. It's just so progressive. And I think every sheriff ought to take a look at who you are and get right behind you and follow in your footsteps. I think this is just a great idea to help our young people. I
tell you what, and of course, when you look at sheriffs and you look at people who are engaged in the community, these ideas just come, and they're not all law enforcement. You saw yesterday we did the animal abuse case, and within 3 hours, this community gave us enough information to find him in the back of a trunk of a car. And we arrested him, and he's in custody right now. So there's a lot of roles that sheriffs play: protect, serve, and unify. And if you see our patrol cars, you'll see that's on the doors. It's on the trunks, because we want to remind people that our job is to protect the sword, to also serve people, and to unify, bring people together. So we're really excited. We're going to show you every week who's in the lead. So thank you so much for that. The next that we're doing is we're giving some recognition. So we have Sergeant James Vernier here. Sergeant Vernier has been a sergeant a little over 5 years. He's assigned to the Detective Bureau, and he was nominated for a very special award by the Department of Defense. It's called the ESGR Division of the Department of Defense, the DOD. And this right here is Cindy Sanders from ESGR to present the award to Sergeant James Vernier.
Thank you very much. So on behalf of ESGR, we'd like to present on the 16th day of February 2022, the Michigan Committee of Employer Support of the Guard and Reserve hereby presents the Patriot Award to Jim Vernier of Genesee County Sheriff's Office. He's been nominated by Sergeant DeAndre Fuller of the Michigan Army National Guard.
Nice.
The Patriot Award reflects efforts made to support citizen warriors throughout a wide range of measures, including flexible schedules, time off prior to and after a deployment, caring for families, and granting leaves of absence if needed. Today, only approximately 1% of Americans serve in the military, and 60% of the fighting forces in Iraq and Afghanistan are made of the Guard and Reserve units.
Wow.
So Jim distinguished himself as an exceptional civilian service by going above and beyond in the support of Sergeant Fuller. As he fulfilled his Army Reserve obligations, in Sergeant Fuller's own words, he wrote, "My supervisor is very supportive and checks on me while deployed, and make sure that I get everything I need." It's evident that Jim Vernier and the Genesee County Sheriff's Office family embody and practice the spirit of "we all serve." The singularly distinctive contribution of Jim Vernier's reflects the great credit upon himself, his colleagues, and the Genesee County Sheriff's Office. So I would like to present this to you.
That's beautiful. Look at that. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
And so I got to say, that's part of the reason why you're here, among other things, because you teamed up with ESGR way back in the early 2000s, and Cindy was part of that. We worked hand in hand. They met over at Mott Community College. So, James, I appreciate you representing the Sheriff's Office the way you do and our country. Thank you so much.
Before you go, though, I have one more award to present. Sheriff Swanson does not know about this, but he also has been recognized, and
Wow.
I would like to present an award.
I did
to
not
him
know
as well.
this.
He told me to keep this short, but he didn't know this. So I'm just going to tell you that with the Sergeant Fuller's own words, what he said about Sheriff Swanson was, "My supervisor is very supportive, checks on me while I'm deployed, and makes sure I get everything I need." So again, on behalf of
Wow.
ESGR, we thank the Genesee County Sheriff's Office for all that you do for your military.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And Cindy, I accept this on behalf of the entire office, those that got us to where we are, to those that are serving right now in the Guard and Reserve, for those that serve that are watching right now, thank you very much. You know, we have special days that you recognize, but every day you should be recognized, and thank you for ESGR. You're the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Thank you very much. So we have another recognition, and I know you know this. So we call him Lieutenant Brandon. I can't call him any more than that. But Lieutenant Brandon was my lieutenant when I started in 1993. He was a traffic lieutenant. And this is Lieutenant Brandon right there. He actually, I have been told, hasn't been back in this building for a long time.
It's been a long time.
Retired here, was the chief of police for almost 20 years,
20 years
in Davison City. And man, almost 20 years ago, in April of 2002, he brought us his son, Bill Brandon, as a deputy. And Bill Brandon took this job serious. The sheriff hired him, and they worked together, so it's like a big family thing. Well, he took a sergeant's test, and he's being promoted to sergeant this Saturday. And we always want to give recognition to those that are being promoted, sergeant, lieutenant, captain, majors, so families can be here. I know that he's got a family member in the back that's watching, but it's an honor, LT, that as a young deputy, you can see people come through the ranks, and now I had the privilege, with my predecessor, to swear him in as a sergeant.
Well, it's great to be here. I appreciate it very, very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Sheriff, any words for the young Brandon?
Well, you know, the seed never falls too far from
Yes.
the tree. And when I interviewed you, I was thinking of your dad, and I thought,
Yes.
if you can only be half as good as your dad, we got a great guy. And that comes from my heart. We just think the world of your dad. Thank you, sir.
So if you'd stand right in front of me, we're going to swear you out. Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
to uphold the Constitution of the United
to
States
uphold the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
the Constitution of the State of Michigan.
and I will faithfully discharge my duties
And I'll faithfully discharge my duties.
as a sergeant
As a sergeant.
for the County of Genesee,
For the County of Genesee,
State of Michigan,
State of
to the
Michigan.
best of my ability.
Best of my
So help me
ability.
God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Sergeant
Thank you,
Brandon.
sir. Appreciate it.
That's how we do it here. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hugs and pictures in a few minutes. All right. So the final segment we have here is very disturbing. And I say that because I want to warn people. You're going to see a video shortly. And the video is an evidence video that our investigators took from elder abuse. That is a walk through the house of this 79-year-old that was neglected, that is barely alive. I want to point out that you can't grasp the stench of the house. You can't grasp the fact that it has no heat, no plumbing, no water, and the 79-year-old victim has been sitting and laying in the same spot since the 1st of December. We just got the case because our sheriff paramedics responded to a call on the 28th of January. December and January. So when you and I were celebrating Christmas, celebrating New Year's, celebrating MLK Day, this lady, the 70-year-old victim, never moved for over 2 months. All the food in the house was expired beyond 6 months. And the caregivers, and Sheriff, you know this all too well, was her own son, a 42-year-old. He had a girlfriend. She worked all the time. They had 2 kids in the house. When you see this house, you're going to think, how can anybody live there, let alone this individual who needed care? And when Deputy Beck from the Medic Division showed up and recognized that this is a critical situation, he called the Elder Abuse Task Force. And we have people assigned to the DB that went and responded. And one of those is Lieutenant Kennemer that's going to be highlighted on this video. Again, this came to us on the 28th of January. You're going to walk through the house. I have some pictures at the end, and I'm going to show you the suspects. They're in custody. But I do want to warn you, and it's not to be graphic for the point of being graphic. It's to drive a point home, that there's always help out there, that you don't need to let people sit and rot. People are deserving of care. And so if it's your family member or friends, if you know somebody, call 911. Let us take care of it. That's why we have all these resources. So again, this is disturbing. It's nauseating. We're not going to show you the whole clip, but I want you to see it. I want this to drive the point home, to have conversations and look out for your friends and family. Here's the video clip. This is the living room. Again, no heat, no water, no plumbing. There's a bucket of urine, another bucket of urine. And we use this to show a jury so they can actually see and feel what's going on. This is the kitchen. And you'll see that it's not uncommon. We check for medications, how much medication's available, are they expired, and then we scan where food is prepared, because you're talking about people being emaciated, malnourished, and we go over to where the refrigerator is and the freezer to find out, is there food in here? And I want to show you, again, there is food, all expired and rotting. This is the bed where our 79-year-old victim laid for 2 months. The urine-stained mattress was sealed around her hip bones, never moved from a supine position. The yellow tote was placed under to catch all the urine. Again, I'm not trying to be grotesque for a reason. Was placed underneath to catch the urine for 2 months. That is mold on the bed. When she went to Hurley, they actually had to soak her in saline to get the clothing and the bed fabric from off of her skin. Decubitus ulcers throughout the entire body. That's enough, Cap. Sheriff, you've been dealing with this your whole career. You started elder abuse. When you see this, you think, this milk is expired. This was January 28th. The milk in the refrigerator is from July 14th of 2021. What is your take?
Well, the gagging in the background had to be your deputies.
Yes.
And the stench and the smell is so bad that they're gagging.
Yes.
And you don't see this when you read the Flint Journal or MLive. What you're giving
Yes.
all people in this community is a real live,
That's right,
every
Sheriff.
day what a sheriff's deputy goes through. And when I retired, One of the things that brought joy to my heart and made me easy to retire was that Sheriff Swanson was going to follow me into office because he has a heart for the people. What you're seeing here is because he makes it happen. And his deputies that work for him, they love him and they want to succeed, and they want to bring people to justice that force our seniors to live like that. And I've got to say, Sheriff, you, and I don't want to, I know people sometimes think that I can have a tendency to overestimate, but the sheriff's office is not responsible to a board of commissioners. It's not responsible to the city council. The sheriff is responsible to the people of this county. You're the people's sheriff. And every day I'm reminded when I see you on TV and the things that you're doing, it's everything that makes me proud, and I'm sure it makes people in the community feel good that we have a person like you. And I say that because it's true.
Thank you.
And I'm here today because I love you, and I want to honor you.
Thank you.
And I just think the people, the training that you put all of the deputies through, and you continue to do it, they want to work for you. They want to please you, and they want to please this community. And I'm so thankful to be here today and just come back and see everybody and be with you.
Well, I can tell you, when you see, like I said, people like Lieutenant Brandon that poured into my life, and all the commanders, even Joe Wilson, the sheriff before you, who hired me. I want these videos and these cases to honor the people that were before, because that's leadership. Never forget the path that you took to get where you are. And there's ups and downs and every which way to sideways, but this is why we're here. So the senior millage that started nearly 20 years ago, that was embedded with the UAW, these are the cases that we're still doing. Go to the next picture. And I want to point out, as these pictures are taken, that's a 5-gallon bucket of urine. There's no running plumbing in this entire thing, no electricity. I'm going to show you the picture of what we see inside next to where the people live, 2 little kids and the 42-year-old individuals. Next slide. This is where she slept. That's pure black mold. That's, if you had to dissect it, you'd see skin on contact. I mean, that's no place for any human to live. And finally, our slide that we want to show is who's responsible. And we don't put this up there to do anything other than to say there are people held responsible. They're in custody. You have the 42-year-old son of the victim and the 42-year-old daughter. David Layton charged them both with count 1, vulnerable adult abuse, neglect. It's a 15-year felony. Like, at any time, they could have called 911 and said, I can't take care of my mom. But I don't know how in good conscience people cannot take care of their loved ones. And if you can't, call. You can't let people, there's people unfortunately sitting right now in these same conditions that we may not find till May, if they're alive. And so I say all that because we covered a lot of ground. Sheriff, I know that these are situations that are all too familiar to the people. They wonder where you've been. They wonder what you've been doing. You've been an inspiration to a lot of people. To your people, if you'd come in and just direct to the camera, a send-off to all the people watching in Genesee County. They want to hear from you.
Well, I tell you, it's good to be back, and it's good to be back with you and the staff, everybody that came up when I was coming up through those 21 years. And as I said, leaving is tough. It's really hard because of the relationships that you have. But again, it made it easier because you were following me, Chris. I've been doing a lot of traveling, getting around to my family in the East, my daughter out in California and Napa on the West Coast, doing a lot of things in between with short trips. And I had the good fortune to go to a basketball game the other night with the sheriff. Unfortunately, our team lost, but it was, it's just great being retired. And I know Bill Brandon, who's here today to honor his son, he would agree with me that the responsibility every day that a sheriff carries and making things go on in the largest police agency in the county, it doesn't come, those kinds of successes do not come without a great deal of effort on your part as well as your deputies. And so I'm going to continue to stay home and watch you on television and watch and see what you and your staff are doing.
Thank you.
making us all proud in this community.
Thank you, everybody. Hey, if there's somebody that's poured into your life, call them today. Tell them how much they mean to you. Thank them, because those are the ones that lifted you where you are. Nobody gets there by themselves. It's a lot of shoulders you stand on. So thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
We're off.
Thank you. Real good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We got to grab this $1,000 because,
You got to.
yes, yes, yes.
The captain wears a blue suit, and I'm wearing a blue suit.
It's like riding a bike, isn't it? You hop right up here.
Yeah.
Good job.
Captain Lanning says right there. Great seeing you. You too. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Great seeing you. Excellent job.
Nice seeing you. Where do you want to go? And then you guys, you want to know what you want to do? What do you need to do?
If I use this, I could use this.
Yep, I'm gonna call Kevin right now. Thank you.
Todd.
I will. Thank you. Yeah, Captain Lanning. Yep.
Check, 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 check. Check, check, check.
I was here when he presented it to you in your conference room, yes.
That's a long time ago.